Hey,
Hey guys.
Welcome.
what's up, everybody? Ooh, Fix, I like your profile picture. That's a cool one.
Hey.
Did you do that yourself, Fix? Oh, we can't hear you. Your mic is not working.
It's a gorilla.
Oh, there it is.
Yep,
Now we hear
yep.
Nice.
Yeah, yep. I did that myself. But that's not what we're here to talk about, is it?
I just slash. Oh, jeez. Listen, I'm glad that I have such a reputation out there in the community. Oh, that's awesome. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Axion Weekly Dev live stream. It's a cool time within the community. We got some exciting stuff to talk about. I think just to kind of kick us off, for those of you who are watching, it just something I want to say personally is that it's we love Axion, we love this community. I think all of us are still here, still working, still a part of Axion because we believe in what it is long term, and we're excited about the potentials not only for Axion to grow as a brand, but also for the development team to kind of continue to work on external projects and bring them to the community and beyond. This is it is it's an exciting time for the entire community because it is Dead Poet's going to be doing a little bit of a presentation for us, but it's a cool time. We know that there's a lot of people out there who are worried or confused or wondering about what's going on, and we just we're here to reassure you guys, here to hang out, here to answer any and all questions you have. Please put them in the chat section if you have any questions. We'll be talking about Warp, talking about Axion, and hanging out this week. But yeah, anything else you guys want to say before we kick things off?
Nope, all good.
I feel offended by Poland's glasses. Oh, Poland.
I think we all do.
I'll change them up.
Makes them
Are
look
there
too
actually
cool for
eyes
us.
underneath those glasses in your avatar, Poland?
Have I what, sorry?
Are there actual eyes underneath the avatar glasses?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Joe, this
Dead
is
Poet's the
2021.
coolest.
Oh, a Dead Poet has equal sunglasses too, so shoot.
Yeah,
This is 2022, is that what she said?
2021, 2022.
If anyone's got the coolest eyes, it's Deli. Look at his profile picture.
Exactly.
Yeah, Deli, you look pretty hot, man.
My profile picture does look pretty cool.
Yeah, I got my Galactic Gang too. I gotta put that on there sometime. Awesome. All right. Well, so yeah, just kind of quick overview. We're going to talk a little bit about Axion, talk a little bit about kind of our strategy as a team, as a project, and kind of what's going on and what external growth opportunities look like. And we'll be talking about Warp. So without further ado, I know Dead Poet has been working hard on kind of some of this communication stuff, so I'm going to let him take it off, and then we'll go from there. I'll add your thing in. There we go. All right, Mr. Dead Poet, over to you.
Hey, all right. Thanks, Joe. Hey, guys. Joe, are you guys able to see my screen? Is it being shared now?
Yep, it's
Alright.
live on.
Okay. So today, what we're going to be touching is a bit on the the external growth opportunities. As what we are trying to do as a team over here. Just to give you guys a couple of just to refresh some of the things that we have done as a team. So one of the things that what we did as a team was that throughout the whole 2021, the team took on this strategy, which is the market development strategy, as a way for us to actually reach new markets through existing products. This was when you saw, all the different crazy developments that we came out with. We worked on the Collider, we worked on the accelerator, the different NFTs, just to the NFT ecosystems, to complement the ecosystem as well. And this was what we did for 2021. However, we realized that in order to look what's being able to actually grow the Axion brand itself, we need to actually decide and need to start thinking what's next. How can the project grow and ensure that we can always able to keep ourselves to be able to retain existing investors as well as reach out to new investors. And that's where for 2022, one of the things that we have decided to do is let's reach out to new markets through new products. So this is where we are looking at this strategy, which is called diversification. So what we are hoping is that when we have new projects, new investors joining this new project, this would actually allow them to actually, also look into the other projects that the Axion team has also worked on, and indirectly, this also get new fresh pairs of eyes onto Axion, Axion as a project, and Axion as a the team itself that has been driving the project itself. So just to go through again, what we plan to do with these projects is that all these new projects will actually operate as standalone projects, and they are actually being developed by the Axion team. And what we plan to do is that all the upcoming projects that you guys will be having access to will actually be launched through the Axion ecosystem, either through the Axion Launchpad or through an incubator program. So you guys, I think this is something as well. This is actually a sneak peek to you guys that we are going to be developing a new program as well as part of Axion Launch, and that is the incubator program. Incubator program now actually allows us to actually, for example, let's say within the team or within the community, you guys want to look into developing projects, but you guys don't have certain resources. You guys can actually reach out to the Axion development team, and you guys can actually sign on an incubator program. And this is where the team, looking at, of course, we have to also make sure that we have the capacity and the resources to actually handle the requests and stuff, and whether we have the expertise, we can actually look to develop the project. And this is where we will take that project and present it to the Axion community through the Axion Launchpad. So now what you guys have is that you guys have access to the ability to actually grow your digital assets through projects and products that are being developed by Axion team. So just like how you guys spent, invested on Luxi, Vebel as part of Axion Launch, those are third-party projects. But now you have projects that you can actually, invest on that are being developed by the team itself. So again, this is where it's very important for us to understand that when we announce this strategy, what we are looking at is that we are trying to develop this mutually beneficial ecosystem. So as you can see over here, the project itself is being developed by the Axion development team, and right now we're looking at developing WAP as a new project, and then we have the existing project that is Axion itself. So by adopting this strategy, what again, like I mentioned, Axion investors now have access to new created projects by the team itself. Axion itself as a brand now have access to co-marketing opportunities with in-house projects. So in the past, can you imagine sometimes to go to do a form of partnership or something? It might require time. It requires relationship building and stuff like that. But right now, imagine having two different Twitter accounts that are mutually benefiting each other under the same umbrella, Axion umbrella, are able to be cross promoting themselves. And this ecosystem will grow. There will be more projects that is being developed by us, and all this will bring more eyes to the Axion brand itself. And now Axion as a brand also have access to extended communities where we can have cross community AMAs, we can have cross social media marketing as well, and importantly as well, also a growing war chest that will be able to benefit all the different projects. So this is where we can finally say that Axion as a brand will benefit from new investment opportunities as well as new investors looking into Axion itself. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys, thanks for joining my tech talk. But yeah, I hope you guys can, see, this is exactly what we are trying. This is something that we have anticipated. It's not something that we just came out of the fly and then hey guys, let's do something. No, this is something that we pre-planned. We had a plan in 2021 to focus on product developments. That was our plan, market developments. Now we are doing market expansion. So this is why we are moving forward 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Dead Poet. That's really great. Oh, and thank you, Cyrus, too, for chiming in. Thank you, Dead Poet. This is part of the overall strategy of the project itself, is to work on ways by which we can expand the market reach, expand the attention that's being given to Axion and to the team itself. There are a lot of other crypto projects out there who have had a very strong, very passionate community, and they launch another project, and the community has the opportunity to be the first ones in on a next project. That doesn't mean that the original project is abandoned. In fact, development often continues on multiple projects, and so for us, this is kind of communicated in the announcement that we did on our Discord and on our Telegram. But basically, having the development team wrap up on this era. If you guys notice kind of the message that Jebin put out, there's different eras in Axion, and there's eras in which development is really heavy, like when V3 and the accelerator and the collider and all that stuff is being developed. There's a lot of work for the developers, but right now we really feel like we're looking at the entire Axion ecosystem and going, okay, like this is it. This is Axion. This is what we intended it to be all along. This is all of the functionalities and features in the ecosystem are really the pinnacle, in a sense, of what we believe Axion to be. And that's not to say that we can't develop more features. That's not to say that we can't add in new and additional elements to the ecosystem, but rather the core ecosystem itself is in what we consider to be that completed status. As in, like, we have the accelerator to buy and stake in a single transaction. We have Bitcoin divs up and working with tokenomics that can support the project for longer than a couple of months or a couple of years. We have the collider and the bonus particle NFT ecosystem to incentivize people to use the accelerator over buying off of SushiSwap, which generates those great dividends. And we've got the new white paper, which kind of encompasses all of the changes that we've made over the last year, as well as the new front end of the website. And so really we're entering into an era of polish, of community outreach, of cleaning up and organizing, of making sure that everything that we do is set and ready to go for bringing in and welcoming new people. And that just means the development load is down. So as a part of the developer team not being a drain on Axion's resources for not doing anything, that's where a lot of this, like, for example, the Warp initiative is coming through, where Warp is an entirely standalone project with a unique feature set that is completely different from Axion, that can go and bring in a whole new community, bring in a whole new group of people, and then show them, hey, like, this is a project that was developed by the creators of Axion. That's something that we can all be proud of. A great example of this is really kind of what's going on. You guys know that Hex, of course, is often a comparison to Axion. We're looking at Hex and what Hex is doing, of course, and what is going on with Pulse Chain. And when the initial launch of Hex kind of came out, when the initial launch of Pulse Chain came out, there's a lot of worry within the Hex community that Hex was being abandoned for Pulse, but it wasn't. Actually, it was a mutually beneficial situation when now there was the doubling and all that sort of stuff. For us in Axion, external projects allow for growth and support of a much larger ecosystem. And we're inviting the Axion community to come into Warp, but they don't have to. This is not a required mandatory thing. This isn't us fundamentally changing the tokenomics of Axion to incorporate an entirely different economic model. This is a completely standalone project that is people can come into if they want, and if they don't want to, that's okay. It's an opportunity for the community to enter into another market, with a team that they're familiar with, instead of trusting another random team that they hope does well. Especially when it comes to stuff like ohm forks. There's been a lot of ohm forks out there, and some of them have been great, and a lot of them have been disguised rug pulls. And we hope that we've shown to the community over the last year of development Axion that we're in it for the long haul, that we work to the benefit of long-term community, and we're bringing a lot of that development stuff to Warp. So, okay, let's, we can kind of talk about that. I'm just scrolling through here and see if we have any questions before we dive into what Warp is. So yeah, that kind of answered this question here from Oblio Stone? Mr. Stone. Can I call you Mr. Stone? Will Warp have any features that'll help Axioners as a completely separate project? Yeah, hopefully Dead Poet kind of described that to you, the larger ecosystem. This is Warp is a completely standalone project. We are going to create a tie-in through Axion Launch, but it is not Axion presents Warp or anything like that. This is a completely standalone project with an opportunity and a unique benefit for Axion Launch members. Just like when you guys bought Luxy, right? Luxy, the most recent launch that we did, and you guys were able to get a discount on Luxy IDO tokens. We're not going to be doing that with Warp. We're not discounting tokens. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Axion community will have an opportunity to get a pretty significant boon to the Warp ecosystem that literally nobody else is going to get that opportunity. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see. I see a couple questions about Warp. Let me see if there's any other questions about... Yeah, exactly. So yeah, with the incubator, we have a safeguard in place to stop dodgy people trying to create rug pulls. So to talk specifically about the incubator, this Warp is kind of the first iteration of the incubator. That's not saying that we are going to all of a sudden go in and just start accepting everybody's projects, and just throwing them in and developing them or whatever. There will have to be a process, a vetting process to make sure the tokenomics are great. Like if we're going to go make Stone Coin, and a part of the tokenomics is the founder gets 90% of the supply, then yeah, it's probably not going to be a great project to launch. So it will depend entirely on the project. But yeah, you will need to prepare a pitch deck for the incubator. We'll work on the framework for that and how it would come through the community, similar to kind of community proposals. But ultimately, what we want is for the Axion community to be to be able to create projects and launch projects that all of us can be involved in and all of us can mutually grow. And that is ultimately, again, the benefits of being an Axion community member is that our
this will be practically the first projects ever in crypto to actually be saying to the community members that, hey guys, create your own projects, So this is where we feel that this is one of the best way for us to actually grow the Axion brand, to get more eyes, Because when you guys create your own project with us, your community members are also going to know about us as well. So that's where the beneficial, benefits will come around. Completing the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. So, you definitely, if you have token ideas and stuff like that, then, through the incubator as a part of, our expansion efforts in the next year, this will be, part of the process, right? So having a token incubator is a part of the community benefits, in addition to like a token launch pad. Again, it provides more benefits to people who are staking, who are part of the ecosystem. So JJN says, why did you choose to implement Warp as a separate project, not to span the existing Axion already stabilized tokenomics and mechanics / NFTs, or is there an Axion expansion plan still possible? So when it comes to tokenomics, the tokenomics of the project and of Axion itself, the Axion staking ecosystem is something that is it is holistic to itself. We definitely looked at and really experimented with and did mathematics on the idea of adding new functionality to the Axion token itself. The problem is that adding new functionality that is separate to the core staking mechanic endangers the staking mechanic. There would be nothing worse than in a sense creating a competing product to the Axion token that could devalue stakes or devalue dividends or all that sort of stuff. Because of that, go ahead, Depo.
We did look into it like almost 2 months. Myself, Pete C, and the rest of the other strategy team, we look into trying to develop this thing called the Axion bonds. We scrutinized it, we looked at it, and we realized that it was just not possible. What we don't want is to create something that cannibalize the existing product. Having two distinct products is not a problem. It's okay. Like Elon Musk creating he did not create Tesla, but he bought over Tesla and SpaceX. Those are two separate products in something like that. So it's okay. But not competing products. I think that's where the danger. That's where we need to actually draw the line.
Yeah, and the other thing too, right, with a new product that utilizes an existing token ecosystem, you have to take into account things like total supply, and with Axion's total supply right now being in the billions of Axion tokens, introducing another economic token system in there where you can't have you can't basically control the amount of total supply and the amount of minting and all that stuff that's happened because of an entirely separate ecosystem could cannibalize the project, right? And so again, this is not to say that Axion is outdated or it's outmoded or it needs to be thrown out. Rather, that it is a complete ecosystem in and of itself, the Axion token and all that stuff. And now through Axion Launch and through the the development that the team has done, we can launch a new product with an entirely different tokenomics section that the Axion community can benefit from by being early investors, being the first ones into it, and then can grow. And then there can be other projects as well that get launched, and all of that is a sense of from the team itself of being able to follow projects that are amazing. The way I've been describing is Axion is home base, right? If you think of a baseball diamond, I know baseball isn't universal, but there's first, second, third base, and home. If Axion is home plate, then there are other bases that we can travel to, but we always return home. And that's kind of the method that we're looking at here. And who knows, right? Let's just say that in developing another project like Warp, all of a sudden something unlocks, and we're like, oh, geez, we could do this to Axion, and then we have all that experience. We can bring that experience to Axion, but not jeopardize the core like you guys don't want us playing around with the core components of Axion. Well, hope this works. It's much better to have a separate project where we can do that sort of stuff. Yeah, okay. Any other questions here?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Depo.
No, sorry. I think you can take this one. I'd like to take the one from 1 and 2. Just
1 and 2.
You can take this one.
Oh, Axion is still struggling. Why is the team launching a new coin?
You
want me to talk about that one?
Yeah,
I'll talk about this one. Axion is still struggling. Why is the team launching a new coin? This, what's happening basically in the Axion ecosystem is not. I don't know. Please don't lynch me by saying this, but I want to say it's not entirely bad. What happened is in the early days of Axion, people got a lot of Axion tokens for really, really cheap. And even at these all-time low prices, people are still actually making profits off of selling. What's happening is that a lot of these large whale holders who were in on the early days are exiting their stakes, exiting their positions. I know we've been saying that through Big Payday 1, and we don't know kind of the decisions why people decide to dump. Of course, people like to sell on the news, buy on the rumor sort of thing. But generally speaking, Axion's price is not directly related to the ecosystem. We have an ecosystem that is leagues ahead of every other staking project out there. All of the functionality, all the systems we've done inside of our ecosystem is truly unlike anything else. And so the fact that certain investors don't see that as being something valuable and they want to exit their positions, that's not entirely a bad thing, because that creates opportunity for people who do see the ecosystem, who do see that long-term staking behavior. So I've done about 10 or 11 AMAs with a bunch of different crypto influencers and newspaper articles, all of that sort of stuff. And in the course of these interviews, people have always been really impressed with everything that's happening in the Axion ecosystem, the size of the community, the strength of the smart contract code, the fact that we've survived 4 audits and we're still going. We're around for over a year. All of these things are really cool for people. And so, having other people not share that belief, we as a team can't control that, right? We can't control what people who bought in on Axion hype a year ago, choose to do with their tokens today. So I think it is just important for you guys to understand that there is a difference between the value of the product and its price. And that Axion is incredibly undervalued. And social gorillas are still going out and shilling every day. We still have different marketing efforts that are rolling out, and that's important to us to obviously keep going and keep doing that. But ultimately, the token price itself is outside of our team's control. And as you guys know, we've been doing lots of marketing. We've been doing lots of community outreach. We had our literally a week ago Friday, or this last Friday, we had a Twitter AMA on Twitter Spaces with the Polygon team. There was thousands of people on that Twitter live stream, and we've had new people in the community come and check us out. So it's an ongoing thing.
Shimafil is going to say something.
Yeah, go for it. Shimmer, you have to unmute your mic. Shimmer, are you around, man?
Am I unmuted yet?
Yep,
Yeah,
there you are.
yeah.
Do you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yeah.
Go ahead,
I'm
Shimmer.
here. Is it not coming through?
No, we can hear you, man.
Okay, so we have an amazing product, and I don't quite understand how we don't see this as a community. There's lots of people that are
Nope, he's gone.
He's
Well
lost his
said,
connection,
Shimmer.
I think.
Yeah, I think he's been popping in and out. So sorry, Shimmer. Okay. Yeah. Any? I'm just looking through some questions and stuff that. Anything else we're gonna kind of go to?
It looks like James McFadden on Metal has managed to get an extra 20% on his Axion, which is good. Congrats. You certainly don't want to miss out on that dip at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. This is Axion is a long-term staking project, right? This is a project people are staking in the years long terms, and so these price fluctuations. I mean, so, guys, just being honest, like I would love the price to go up. I bought Axion at 003 and 004. Like I would love the price to go up. I've been saying that for a while, but there's a significant portion of people who are exiting right now, and that's just how it goes. All right, Shimmer, you back? He is there, and his mic is open. I don't know if he can hear us.
Yes, I'm having technical issues.
Poor
Sorry.
guy.
But it happens.
It does. All right. Well, we can
So
hear
where-
you if you wanted to finish
where-
what you're saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I'm not trying to compare, like, us to like a Amazon, but in the '90s, Amazon was selling off, and also what was happening in the background was their fundamentals were great. They were growing. They had more wallets coming in. They had more people coming. I mean, they had more, like, they were selling more books, and all this great stuff was happening, but their stock was tanking. And so fundamentally, Axion is great. Fundamentally, we are sound. We just have this issue where we're stuck in the past. We're stuck in this idea that we're still on Eve. We're stuck in this idea that we're still in punkonomics. We're stuck in this idea that, like, all this stuff is gone. We fixed all this. We fixed everything. Everything is fixed. Now it's just time for us to get out there and do what we need to do, which is tell people how awesome this product is. And I just find it, I get frustrated. I'll be honest, like, what happened yesterday frustrated me. It broke my heart because I see the potential here. I see this huge potential, and I hope that as a community we can come together and work together and support Axion and support Warp, because these are both amazing opportunities by people that care about what they do and want us all to succeed. Like, that is the goal. Everyone on this team, everyone in the Gorillas, everybody wants you to succeed together. And that's what we need to keep the eye on. We need to keep the eye on community and community involvement and supporting each other. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Shimmer, for those kind words and stuff. And yeah, I'm super excited. And you guys know, like, I work on projects, all the time outside of the Axion ecosystem. So at the end of the day, it doesn't stop us from working on Axion. Like, I literally built V3 at the same time of doing like 2 other projects, as well as helping other people, launch their projects. And the truth of the matter is, this team that we have is so first class. Like, I literally couldn't imagine. I was actually talking about this earlier today with one of my old bosses I used to work for, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, like, one of the things about where you're from or where you work or it's like not everyone's on the ball. And I'm like, well, I got to be honest with you. Like the people that I work with today, Poland, Call Me Jace, Pete C, Dead Poet, Green Guy. God, I would not change. I would not, change this team for any other, because the thing is, we are so good at what each one of us does that we've been able to work on multiple things. It's because we believe in everything we do. We're the first believers in everything that we do. So at the end of the day, it's like, I want the Axion community to understand that, this is just another side project, and I hope you guys, either join in, or you guys don't have to. As we said, like there's no barrier to entry here. So at the end of the day, like we are extending, the Axion launch because Axion is our first community.
Yeah. Hey guys. I think it's important that Axion. One last word on Axion, because we all kind of want to hear what this new project is, what it's going to do, and what honestly, what the Axion community gets. I mean, that's all why we're here. But I think it's important that we finish this product and put a stamp on it, because let's face it. At this point in the DeFi market, we are going after the seasoned investor. At this point, we're not going after we want to eventually go after the soccer moms and make it a project for everybody. But right now, the soccer moms honestly don't have the time and the patience to. They're running around after their kids and stuff. They don't have the patience and time to look into it. What's a seasoned investor look for? What is the one thing that a seasoned investor looks for? A white paper. How can we finish a white paper if a product is not finished? And we're missing out on a lot of potential investors from that one point. That is what I wanted to bring up. Let's hear about Warp.
Yay! Yeah, thanks, Fix. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, guys. So, super excited to show you Warp. So what we're going to be doing, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. And where is it?
Can I just say one last thing before we move on to Warp? I just want to say a massive shout out to the social gorillas, because for the last few weeks they've been getting us to the top of all of these lists, all of these currently trending projects on Polygon. They've repeatedly got us to the top 2 or 3 spots, and they're helping Axion get trending, which really does help. So keep
look
up
at that.
the work,
We're above Polydoge, guys. That's pretty freaking crazy.
Huge. Yeah. So yeah, excellent. Big shout out to you guys. Keep up the hard work.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, social gorillas. Yeah, all right. So talking about Warp. So Warp is basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing Warp to Axion through Axion Launch. And Warp is not going to have any other community that's going to get a direct benefit to the project in terms of being able to have access to functionality or features within the ecosystem before launch. Warp will be working with some other communities, including Polygon and a couple others, to just promote the project itself. But it's not going to have, there's not going to be any economic incentive to people aside from what's going on through Axion. So again, that's just a way for us to provide the community with a unique investment opportunity if they so decide. If they don't, it's totally fine. So Warp is based on the Ohm protocol. If you guys aren't familiar with the Ohm protocol, there's lots of great resources out there on YouTube. We can answer some questions about it, but you really should check it out. It is a really cool project where it's basically it's mutually beneficial building of a treasury that backs the token. That's kind of a significant feature of Warp. What we're doing, and I'm just showing off the main website available at warp.bond, is we are gamifying the Ohm protocol. We are adding in a layer of functionality within the Ohm ecosystem that is completely different than anything else anyone's doing, and that is through these NFT starships. So in Ohm, the standard Ohm protocol, and other things like Jade, which is one that's running currently on Polygon, and I forget what some of the other ones are off the top of my head. But what?
Klima.
Oh, Klima. Thank you. Yeah, Klima. So anyone else What's the other one on Polygon that we're looking at?
It was like Otter Clam. It was like a meme ohm fork or something like that.
Meme ohm fork, exactly.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we are gamifying the ohm protocol by allowing multiple staking pools. So in like if you think about it, similar to how we have Bitcoin dividends in Axion, there's a single Bitcoin pool, and people are paid from out of that pool. In the same way, it's not a perfect analogy, but just to get you guys, from a point that's familiar, Ohm has a single staking pool as well. Well, with Warp, what we're doing is we're allowing for multiple staking pools, and each staking pool is going to have an entirely different APY, which means that as you stake your Warp tokens, you can travel between planets that represent different staking pools, as shown via this handy website, and you will be able to basically take advantage of gold rush opportunities. So you can take your Warp, you can travel from Earth to Proxima B in this particular case, and then you can stake your tokens over here at Proxima B, where the APY is significantly higher than on Earth. We're also bringing NFT bond functionality, where bonds can be bought and sold, similar to what we're doing with Axion Galaxy stakes. And then we're also doing it through starships. So when it comes to starships are going to be the most in demand and the most profitable resource within the Warp community, within the Warp ecosystem. So the cool thing is that when you create a bond in Warp, what you're doing is you're buying Warp tokens at a discount, and then those tokens are vested to you over the course of a 5-day bond. So you're basically buying a discounted price at the moment of bonding, and then 5 days later you get the full amount of the tokens, with some of it being vested to you over the course of 5 days. Then during that time, you can be taking your vested tokens and you can stake them for an additional reward. But the thing is, whenever you bond, you're creating a treasury that backs the token, which helps support the price and do all of that sort of stuff. The cool thing is, what you get when you bond is that you get a starship part. So each bond of $250 or more is going to generate a starship part NFT at the time of bonding. And then we'll talk about this more, but the strength of your bond in terms of how much you actually bond. So if you create a $500 bond, that dollar value goes directly into the strength of the part itself. So there's 4 different parts that comprise of making a starship. You need a hull, you need a bridge, you need an engine. Each one of these has different properties such as strength and speed, as well as a fuel cell, which enables you to travel between planets. And each one of these parts is basically how you create a starship. So if you want to create a starship, you're going to need to have 3 different bonds with at least $750 in value in order to generate a starship. And then once you've generated a starship, if you want to travel between planets, you need a fuel cell, and the fuel cell is also enabled via that $250 bond. So the total price of a working starship, in a sense, is $1,000. Now, that's not to say that we are needing that you have to bond at this level. You can bond $50 or $10 or whatever you want to do, because this is Polygon and gas fees are incredibly cheap. But being able to have a bond that gives you a starship part as a part of it is what enables the extra functionality in this ecosystem. So coming down to the starships themselves, I designed all these starships. I'm finally putting my VFX background to good use. And you can see we have each one of these different starships. There's going to be a mint within the ecosystem of 10,000 starships is available via bonding. And these starships, again, are what enable travel. These starships are also nameable. So when you look in the Warp app, you will actually be able to name your starship, and then you can buy, sell, or trade your starships on the opening. I'm getting you guys telling me to change the music. So what do you want me to change the music to? Anybody?
Something hype.
Well, if you find some music, we'll just talk about your spaceships, because how awesome are these spaceships that Joel's been working on? How many have you created now? 10?
I'm at 5,000 starships that have been made right now.
Nice.
So I'm pretty happy with it. There you go. How's that? Is that hypey enough for you? Let me turn the volume up. Invest in Warp. And now we're gonna get Music copyright takedowns. It's fine. It's fine. All right, that's what we get. This is our hype music for today.
So when are these revealed soon ones coming out? So it's going to launch with those first 3, is it? And then
no, it's going to launch with all the starships.
okay.
So
even
all
the
10,
the last one.
even the last one, yeah. If you guys notice, since this is my favorite one down here, it's a pirate ship with starship engines attached to it.
Awesome.
Pretty happy about it. Yeah, Dead Poet's very happy about it. If you guys have seen his Twitter personality.
Hey, that wasn't supposed to be shit.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. That's weird. So basically, coming back to this, we are launching with this functionality, the ability to travel between stations, get starship bonds, all that stuff at launch. So this isn't quarter 1 or quarter 2 functionality. We're ready to go. Now there will be a delay between when you can buy bonds and when you can make your first starships. It's going to be a 3 bond period, so 15 days, but the functionality is all there. And I just love this. Every time I show this off, I'm just really proud of it. I made this, you guys. It's pretty cool. So when we talk about warp, this is something I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about, and that is fair launch, right? So a lot of people they want to be able to have an airdrop of warp tokens, or they want to have their stakes count towards warp tokens. Guys, I really wish we could do that. Honestly, I do. I have 250 million Axion staked max. Like, it would be awesome if I could get some free warp. But one of the things that we're very passionate about is the fact that we do not want we don't want to give away free tokens. We don't want to pay influencers in tokens like a lot of other projects do. The entire development team, we're not giving ourselves any warp that we can use. Like Axion was given Axion warp or Axion tokens at the beginning to create a dev fund. We are doing what's called a fair launch.
And that's the feature and the trend of all new projects, all focusing on fair launch types of mechanism. So, yeah.
Ooh, Poland says I should play the Interstellar soundtrack. That
I don't know
awesome.
what this is, but I don't like this. I
literally Googled hype music.
I literally don't like rap music. I don't know what this is.
That was the first thing that came up for hype music. So, all right, Interstellar soundtrack it is.
Well, I have a question that I've been getting quite a bit.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So, how does this? I've been getting a lot of questions around the Ohm protocol and the Ohm project itself, but how does this differ from the base project, the Olympus DAO project?
You want to talk about that, Deli, or Pete C? Actually, Pete
Yeah.
C, you haven't talked yet. You want to chat about it?
Sorry guys, if you can repeat my that last question, just my data is around. Yeah.
How does warp differ from the standard Olympus DAO?
First, the major difference is that one singles staking pool, we have several staking pools. So this is already creating that gamification, that difference that no other Ohm clone created so far. So that will be like the major difference that is gonna put us on the spotlight. Yeah, so starting from this started the entire idea of having these staking pools as different planets. And since you have different planets, the whole idea about starships, Travis actually initially it was his idea. So congrats Travis for this.
Good job, Travis.
Yeah. Congratulations for coming up with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, fundamentally, I mean, we're taking the best of the Ohm protocol and we are bringing it with new functionality, but we're not necessarily changing the Ohm protocol in terms of its fundamentals.
Well, we have made it better. Not just multiple staking pools, but we've been looking at the contracts and stuff and this and that for a while, and we've realized that and this is honestly why there's a V2 Ohm. They've come out with like a V2 Ohm is because they've realized some of their pitfalls, and to be honest, they did fix a lot of them, but we found even more pitfalls, and we just kept on fixing them, and Don't get me wrong. I love Ohm. I think they are absolute math geniuses. And so we just basically, in my opinion, took Ohm and really were able to dissect every part of it and kind of like, make it a little better and kind of see what other things that you could do with the Ohm protocol, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. James says here, I think a lot of people not taking into account with fair launch, everyone enters in on a level playing field. That's exactly right. This is a chance for all of us to be able to start this project, right? Which, I do want to bring this up. I love answering tough questions. I know Blitz and Chits, you had very strong opinions about this. But, in fact, we're not being unethical, right? In the sense that we are telling people that they have the opportunity to be involved in this if they want to. They don't have to. This is the same thing as we're doing for Axion Launch. This is, when we bring in other Axion Launch partners, we have the opportunity to vet the contract and see if it's good, but it's not forced. It's not like we're taking the Axion token and deciding we want to turn it into a bonding engine and doing it without people's approval. This is through Axion Launch, and if people don't want to be invested, they don't have to. There's no fault. Nobody's going to get thing. In fact, what is ethical in a sense is that we're saying here, if you look, it's equal chances for all captains. No pre-sales, no IDOs, no influencers paid with Warp. We are not creating a developer fund out of Warp. So in fact, this is probably one of the most ethical launches that you could have, in the sense that it's not like we've minted ourselves a whole bunch of Warp early and we're trying to get people in and then we're just going to immediately dump on them. No, actually, we are bringing this to the Axion community. If they want to be involved in it, they also get a unique opportunity through Axion Launch, which we'll talk about in a second. But people don't have to. It really isn't a big grand conspiracy of us trying to steal the Axion community away. We're being involved with other communities too, same as that we're being involved with Axion. So, yeah, I don't think that it's anything. Let's see. Will the price of getting a full ship get more expensive over time? Oh, hey, number. No. It's always going to be $250 bonds. So it's not set to the price of Warp. It's set to the USD dollar value at time of bonding. However, there's only 10,000 starships available in the first season. So I didn't talk about that, but I will go back up here. So season 1 starships, we're going to have multiple Warp seasons, which you actually go to our FAQ. You can see there's things about here where we're talking about different seasons and all that stuff if you guys do have questions specifically about it. But no, there are only going to be 10,000 starships available. So if this project takes off and there's a huge amount of people who are buying starships, then starships are going to be a really big commodity, which is kind of how this ties into Axion Launch, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But the starships themselves are going to be very rare. They're going to be sellable, buyable, tradable immediately from launch. Same with the starship parts. So if you have a starship part that you want to sell or exchange for somebody else, you have to buy or sell it or trade it on OpenSea.
And one thing to note as well is there you will get fuel cells into the mix as well. So like every X part is a fuel cell. And once we've reached that 10,000 ships or the 10,000 parts bought through the bonds, you then just continue to get fuel cells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So once all the parts have been taken up and people want to continue to travel, every $250 bond generated afterward is going to generate a fuel cell. So that basically, in a sense, actually, I was thinking about the game theory of this. There's going to be a farming opportunity for people who want to bond and create fuel cells and then sell fuel cells on the open market to the 10,000 captains out there who want to travel. So if you are doing that, the cool thing, every time you bond, you're backing the treasury, which backs the token, which backs the price and all that sort of stuff. So bonds are very beneficial to the whole ecosystem. But at the same time, people will always need fuel. So if you have an opportunity to farm fuel cells and sell them on OpenSea, like that could be a pretty lucrative secondary market, kind of that gamification, which is pretty cool. I saw a question up here. Oh yeah, Oblio says, will you be able to get money out of Warp staking whenever you want, or be locked into a staking window? No, there's no. So your staked Warp tokens you can withdraw at any time. So your bonds are locked for 5 days, and then your Warp staking is as long as you keep it in there. That's kind of the cool thing. So if you have Warp tokens and you want to travel to a new planet, you'll be able to withdraw your stake at any time from Earth, for example, going back up to the exact example of the multiple staking pools. Where is it? back up here. You can withdraw from Earth. You can travel to Proxima B, withdraw from Earth, and then deposit your tokens into Proxima B and take advantage of that higher APY. And obviously, you couldn't do that if you had your tokens locked.
Yeah, and also one thing in the Ohm protocol that you will notice is people who have lots of these tokens, like these quote unquote whales, always end up basically depositing like a couple minutes before the rebase, and then once the rebase hits, they then withdraw their tokens, and they basically do whatever they want, and I think that's very interesting in the ecosystem, because at the end of the day, this token should be backed by the treasury. And that's kind of how Ohm works. Is like yes, we should see like an initial like price increase, but over time the point of these tokens are to be backed by the treasury, and the price on these tokens do not matter. If you had invested in Ohm for $1,000 back in July, right? So if you invested $1,000 back in July on Ohm, well, Ohm's price is looking at $300. You still would have made to like 40 to 50 times the amount of money you put in. Let's say if you put 1,000 in, you would still have over like 10 grand today because you were staking the entire time. These types of ecosystems benefit holders and not so much swing traders, because there's already such high APY, and the whole entire point of this ecosystem is to essentially provide a backed token at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it's mutually beneficial. So a couple more questions. If you buy 4 different bonds, you're guaranteed all 4 parts of a starship. So the way that the contract works is a part of the ecosystem, that the parts are randomized. They're distributed randomized. They're basically minted sequentially, but you're not guaranteed a part. So it's not paying attention to you and saying, okay, you bought a bridge, so the next one you get is a hull, right? It's actually, you're bonding. Every time you're bonding, you're generating a unique starship part. And so basically what that means is that as you get these parts, you can sell the ones that you don't need, and you can buy the ones that you do need. The cool thing is that these parts are basically like when you bond $250, you're buying a bond. The starship part comes on top of it. So in a sense, if you enter into a bond, then what you're actually getting is the bond, and the starship part is icing on the cake. Meaning that if you decide to sell that icing on the cake, in a sense, then what happens is you're actually getting additional money through your bond if somebody else needs that particular part. So if that makes sense. Did I describe that well enough? I'm trying to also get, there we go. Now the music's back. My laptop went to sleep. Yay.
So yeah, also to note, another thing that we're bringing into the ecosystem of Ohm is this idea of tradable bonds. Like you can we will have 2 OpenSea collections. We're gonna have your NFT OpenSea collection for the bonds, and we're gonna have an NFT OpenSea collection for the parts. So you can let's say you bought a bond, and a bond is basically vested. It's a vested amount of warp for 5 to 6 days. What you want to do is you want to claim your warp and then immediately go and stake your warp, and that's kind of like it's like this 4-4 method or whatever it is. And so what you can do, right? Let's say like you have vested your money into the protocol, and you for some reason need to liquidate. Well, you aren't stuck. You aren't quote unquote stuck in the ecosystem, because you can just go on OpenSea and withdraw, or you can just go on OpenSea and sell your bond. So you basically you'll be able to buy and trade bonds, as well as the ability to buy and trade starship parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Oblia says, once everything is minted, why would anyone pay more for fuel when you're guaranteed for a price of 250? That's the thing. You can't travel between starships or between planets if you don't have fuel. You have to have a minimum of 250 fuel points to travel between planets, and once you use your fuel cell, it's gone. So if you want to travel to another planet, you'll either need to buy another fuel cell or have another bond that generates that fuel. So it's not like you fuel up a starship and then you never have to buy fuel again. Like if you fuel up your car, you still need to keep buying fuel for your car. Okay, so let's see. Nia Tolliver says, I love the Interstellar soundtrack, which I had on there, then I turned it off because it was stressing me out. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so let's, I know we're about 56 minutes in, so kind of want to get to talking about what the Axion Launch component is of it. I was trying to work really hard to get this website done for you guys before we finished, but here we go. Oh, I will answer this question. So technically, a starship could cost you more than $1,000. They're guaranteed to sell you the bond. No. So if you a starship only costs $750. So 3 bonds, $750 to generate enough parts to build a starship. Depending on the luck of your draw, you may need to buy or sell or trade some starship parts in order to get all the parts that you need to build a starship. But no, it's based off of the $250 value, not the value of warp token itself. So $750 to get a starship. You can sell that starship if you want on OpenSea and never travel. You never have to go anywhere with your starship if you don't want to. You can always stay on Earth. But if you want to sell your sell your starship without a fuel cell, then it's $750 basically to get one. And that's what is important. So here I will answer this question too. Can you use 1K USD of fuel and skip a fuel plan ahead? So basically, the way that it works is the strength of the starship and the amount of fuel points you get is directly proportional to how much you bond. So for example, if a bond is created at $250 and you get minted a fuel cell, you'll have 250 points in your fuel cell, or enough for 1 jump. If you create $1,000 bond, which again, you're not buying starship parts, you're creating bonds, and those bonds are at a discount, meaning you're already making a profit on your investment when you bond. So just want to remind that. Thank you, Poland. Sorry. The bond itself is already giving you an opportunity to earn a great ROI. The starship parts on top of it gives you opportunity to earn additional ROI if you want to sell it or if you want to travel. But it won't cost you more than $1,000 unless maybe there's an exclusive starship out there that nobody else has and somebody wants to buy it and they list it for 1 ETH and it's $4,000. And yeah, you could get that starship. That's the cool thing, is that the starships that you guys get will be chosen at random, and they will carry over the value of the points that you got. So if you make a $500 bond and it creates a hull with 500 points in it, that hull is going to be inherently stronger, which will affect ships in Season 2 of Warp, than a hull at 250. Or if you make a $10,000 bond, we don't know quite what the cap is going to be yet, but you'll have a hull with 10,000 points of strength, or a fuel cell with 10,000 points in it. And the cool thing is that you can choose to fuel up a ship if you want to do proportionally. So if you buy $1,000 bond and you get a fuel cell with 1,000 points and you have 3 starships, which by the way, you can own multiple starships, then you can fuel up each ship as much as you want, or as little as you want from the fuel cell. So it's not like you have to dump the entire fuel cell into one starship. If that makes sense. So yeah, but a game strategy could be you just stay on Earth and just accumulate APY. The interesting thing is, I should go back to that page. The interesting thing is, if you're on Earth and you don't have a starship, and a bunch of people have starships, and they all move from Earth to Proxima B, what will happen to the pool here? Well, there's going to be less people in the pool, which means your APY is going to go up. So that's also an interesting game theory to decide what will happen if you want to stay or if you want to go. But yeah, as Dead Poet mentioned, planets will have to be discovered. So each planet is going to be discovered in a rollout schedule. But by the time we are done, there's going to be Earth plus 4 other planets. So let's say everybody's on planet 5. You may decide to go to planet 3 because planet 3 has the most rewards. So it's actually going to be a really cool game theory element of people traveling around to try and chase the highest APY. It's pretty good. Okay. So I want to talk about the Axion Launch benefit. Again, this website's not done. I'm going to finish it as soon as this AMA is over, and then we will dive into what it means. But basically, because we are doing a fair launch, that means that we are not going to do any tokens, any warp tokens like you would normally have in an IDO. A IDO basically, or a pre-sale, allows you to buy warp tokens at a discount, and then at launch, it's launching at a different price. Because we're dedicated to a fair launch, we are not going to be pre-minting any warp tokens, and we're not trying to raise liquidity funds for the project, any of that sort of stuff. So what we are doing for the Axion community is we're basically allowing people to, if they decide they want to, there's absolutely no pressure, you're going to have the opportunity to buy Starship parts directly. Now, in Warp, the only way to get a Starship part is to create a bond of $250 or more, or to buy it on OpenSea. If people are selling their parts. Now, people may be hoarding their parts and not selling them because they want to build a fleet of ships. So we don't know how exclusive or unexclusive the market is going to value these NFTs, but it could be relatively high. But you basically are going to have to create a bond of $250 or more in order to be able to have access to a ship part. What we're doing is an exclusive for Axion, as in nobody else is going to get this opportunity. For Axion community members, we're going to allow people to be able to buy Starship parts for $100. So that's basically $150 off of the price that it would be if you were going to bond. Now, again, just to confirm for you guys, bonds are not Starship parts. You're creating a bond, and a Starship part is given to you as a part of your bond. Here, you guys are going to have the opportunity to buy these Starship part NFTs, and you can either decide that you want to take these parts and sell them on OpenSea for a profit, meaning that you might buy it for $100, and let's say somebody needs a bridge and there's not a lot of bridges, and you decide you want to list it for $500, great, go for it. If you decide that you want to hold on to them and build your own Starship, then basically you're going to have the ability to build Starship parts at a discount when nobody else will have this opportunity. So this part of the website isn't done. This is still using... Oh yeah, and I also forgot the best part. So here's the different starships. In fact, here I'm showing you guys a couple of the starships that aren't revealed on the website yet. So you can see here's 2 more of our starship classes that are on the website, which is pretty cool. And then it shows the starship parts. But here's the best part: when you buy a Warp Starship part NFT, you're going to get a chance to win 1 of 10 unique Axion starships. So if you guys see here, we have the different starship classes. There will be 10, 1 for each starship type. But these are exclusive Axion starships. There will be no other starship like it on the planet, on the entire Warp ecosystem. It'll be a 1 of 1 mint for each ship class, or a total of 10 unique Axion themed starships. And this means that if you do buy a starship part, then you're going to get a fully fueled starship valued at about $1,000, guaranteed, given to you as a part of, not guaranteed if you win, but you will be having a basically $1,000 starship that will be given to you when you buy a NFT class. So basically, it's a way for us to give a unique incentive to the Axion community without us having to do a pre-sale or discount the warp tokens that could cause some initial dumps of the project. So again, whether you guys decide this is something you want to do is totally up to you. We're going to have 1,000 NFTs available for purchase if you guys so want. Now, I didn't complete it here. You guys have to forgive me. This is still the Luxy website that I was modifying for the Axion community, so my apologies, it's not done yet, but I will tell you guys what's going to happen here. So if you have a basic allocation, we're going to have 2 million Axion staked at least 350 days. You can buy 1 NFT, and then for every additional NFT you have, or if you're a max staker, you get an additional NFT that you can buy. So if you're an OG5 member, you can buy basically everything that you need for a starship for $400 instead of $1,000. So that's a total of $600 off what is going to be launched as a part of the Warp initiative. Now, this is not guaranteed that you're going to get every single part. The way that the contract is built is that it randomizes it, and we can't change that. That's just how the contract works. And so you may get 2 hulls and 1 engine and 1 fuel cell, and you'll need to buy or otherwise exchange for a a bridge, but you're basically going to be able to get it for $600 off what's going to cost everyone else. So in some ways, it is kind of like a pre-sale. You're just getting access to the starships. And again, these starships are going to be the most important commodities, because without a starship, you're going to be stuck on Earth. And the more people that join the project, the lower the APY is going to be on Earth. As a result of more and more people having a share of that pool. So in order to get out to different places, you're going to be moving on. again, this website will be updated. I'm sorry I didn't get the chance to finish it. I was actually working on making cool starships last night instead of working on the website. My apologies. But this is kind of what we're going to be offering to the Axion community. So if you guys want to be a part of it, you totally can. You don't have to be. But again, no other community, no other marketing initiative, none of that sort of stuff is going to have that. And the cool thing is that with people coming in, this is where it kind of ties back to Axion. If people want to get access to a Starship part at a discount, they have to come to our community. They have to buy Axion. They have to stake it, and then they can get access to this discounted Starship parts. So again, the value at launch is $250, $100 for you guys at the beginning, and you guys can do it. We'll be launching this through the staking portal. The Axion staking portal with the pledge engine, and it'll be in the same as the L.L.D launch, which will be a stable coin USDC, I believe. Gnome says, when is revealed what part you get? So at launch, when we launch the project and people start bonding NFTs, that's when we will be using the addresses that were whitelisted on Warp as a way to distribute who gets these NFT parts based off of the staking. The pledge engine. Is this discount going to last forever? Is only for a limited time? You can see here the purchase will begin next Monday, December 27th, and it'll end next Friday, December 31st. So it's basically a 5-day period for anybody who wants to get in on these. Again, there's only 1,000. They're going to be made available. So if you guys are interested and you have qualifying wallets, then you'll be able to purchase it during that window. Can I attack peasants' ships? Ship battles are coming in season 2, so you know what? Listen, it can go. Solik says, can you purchase only one NFT? Oh, go ahead. What that put? Oh, no, leak? Did you say leak? Oh shoot! Dang it! Oh shoot! Okay, well yeah, you didn't hear anything. Can you purchase only one NFT? So again, going back down here, this is not correct. This is still talking about L.L.D, so this is not right. But if you only have a 2 million Axion, not one, 2 million Axion staked for 350 days, and you can only buy one for every other qualifying event that you have, just like L.L.D. If you're a max staker, if you have the OG Polygon NFT, if you have the OG 555 NFT, you can buy one additional NFT. So if you are the OG 555 member and you have OG Polygon, a max stake, and well, you're already qualified because it's a basic allocation, then you're going to be able to have the opportunity to buy 4 Starship parts, if that answers that thing.
Also, I will say the Starship parts, let's say you buy all 4, so only the Axion community is going to get the ability to to actually be able to build a Starship. So, like if you buy all 4, you will immediately have a Starship plus the fuel. If you buy 3, you will immediately have a Starship. So, like whereas if you're buying the bonds, you could end up it could be totally random. So that's another thing to realize as well.
Okay. Any other questions from you guys? Appreciate you sticking around to look through this. Again, we're getting this website out to you guys probably in an hour or 2 as soon as I can finish putting the details in. Then we'll be letting people participate, and then the countdown to the actual opening of this will be till next Monday. Will there be a snapshot of NFT ownership as opposed to L.L.D launch? No, so that's why we're going to be using the pledge engine. So if you guys are familiar with, I'll just go to its stake.axion.network. If you guys go to, I understand. Launches. If you guys remember here, we went to the past launches and you clicked on L.L.D, and then you had the opportunity to pledge inside of the pledge engine. We're using the same way. So basically every pledge that's put into the pledge engine, basically buying a Starship part, is how we will know who is whitelisted in a sense to be able to participate in the launch itself. Yeah, so will the money raised from the launch pad go towards Warp Treasury to back its system? We aren't getting bond out of it. Yeah, I mean, this is going to help us with liquidity, initial fees, all of that sort of stuff, backing the Treasury. All of this money is going to be used to be able to support the launch effort of Warp itself. So, it is not something that we have to do. we could launch Warp without needing to do this for the Axion community. But by buying these parts, you show your ownership in the project as well, and the fact that you guys are getting opportunity to do, to get in something that nobody else is. But then also, you will have really the greatest benefit, which means that everybody else is going to be having to buy $250 bonds in order to build their starships, and you guys don't. Some of you will already have all the parts you need to be able to build a starship right at launch. And make sure that people won't transfer NFTs between wallets. Yeah, so I mean, it's no. If you technically, I mean, this is how other people did it in Luxy. But if you are swapping NFTs around and you're buying, it is one per wallet address. So game theory, however you guys want to game theory. Do we plan to include diamond stake as well? No. So if you guys look at diamond stakes, those don't have any Axion Launch benefits as a part of the way that the OG Polygon and OG5 NFTs do. So no, at this time there is no diamond stake benefit in the Axion Launch ecosystem. That's not to say that can't change, but for right now, diamond stakes are their main benefit is the 5% boost in the accelerator, which no other NFT has. So got to keep those NFT classes distinct.
Just to add to Little Beetlejuice's question about can you cheat the system by moving NFTs, you still need an Axion stake in each of the wallets. You still need about is it $100, Joel, for 555?
Yeah, it's shoot, where is it?
So it's not like
it's going to be 2 million Axion staked for 1 year is the minimum allocation.
Yeah, so again, it's not like you can just have an OG 555 NFT or Polygon NFT, send it to another wallet, and then from that new wallet buy into this, because you haven't got that basic allocation. You need that basic allocation in order to do so. So even if someone did want to try and game the system as such, they'd still need to buy more Axion and stake it in order to do so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you must have one active stake containing at least 2 million Axion. It's up now, but 2 million Axion for the minimum 350 days. If you don't have that, you can't qualify. Faj's asking, when new seasons start, do we have to rebuild starships? Nope, you got to keep your old starships. We want you guys to feel attached to your starships. You can name them, and they'll be in your hangar and at your different planets. Kind of the cool thing to keep in mind is that if you sell a starship on planet 3, when somebody buys it, it will be on planet 3. The starship will stay wherever it is bought or sold. So you could buy somebody else's starship, and the name could be the USS Faja. And of course, they could rename it if they want. I don't know why anyone would, because USS Faja sounds great. But you'll be able to inherit the starship at whatever planet it is currently docked at, which is pretty cool. What tokens we need to purchase shipped NFTs? It's going to be USDC, right? Isn't that what we did for Luxy? I'm pretty sure that's...
Yeah, so we're going to do USDC,
Yep, so stablecoin USDC, $100 to get on your first one. Again, guys, this information is not correct. I'm just showing to you because I wanted you guys to see what the page is, but that'll be updated and sent out soon. How do you provide proof you're an OG5 staker? So you have to have the OG5 NFT, not just a OG, not just a 555 stake. If you have a max stake, which is shown here, then yes, you would qualify. But a max stake is different than the OG 555 NFT.
So we're also to note, our contract will verify all of this. So
yeah, exactly.
No need to provide proof. Just
as long as your connected wallet has a qualifying pledge in it or pledge option, then you'll be able to get in. Prana, some guy answered from this the other day. We don't have to buy a ship or fuel. Correct. You can just stay on Earth and immediately buy warp off Sushi Stop and stake immediately. No discounts. You don't have to bond. You guys can just buy tokens. Again, it's part of the fair launch. I know everybody in the Axion community wants a discount on warp tokens. I would love discount on warp tokens. I'm going to be buying warp by bonding warp myself using my own funds. This is all of us. We're developing this using our own funds. And so, but a fair launch means that all of us have the same launch opportunities, which is cool. The NFTs are an entirely optional part of the ecosystem, which is why Axion getting an exclusive access to these NFTs at a discount off of anyone else doesn't harm the launch of the token itself. It merely gives you guys an edge when it comes to being able to take advantage of the most exciting part of the ecosystem itself. Any other questions? Astro Crypto said this is good for the Axion community. Yeah, guys. I mean, again, just to really confirm we're doing this because we're passionate about it. We're bringing it to the Axion community, not because we feel like we need you guys' help to abandon Axion or anything. No, like this is our opportunity to get you guys involved in another project that can benefit you as an investor and benefit the Axion ecosystem in terms of giving them exclusive access to something like this. But at the end of the day, Axion's still awesome. We're still around. We're still developing it. And, you know, if Warp succeeds and takes off and you guys are part of it, then you get to kind of grow and journey on that with us. And we can take the lessons learned and bring it back to Axion. So really excited about that. Ooh, look at that, Poland. That's cool. You want to talk about that?
Did you know that was me? That could have been Deli.
Because, no, nobody else knows how to run StreamYard except for you.
True. Yeah, someone's just mentioned in general that the accelerator is sold out, which is good.
That's amazing. Yeah, 22,400.
Another hour until it renews. So if you're wanting to get more discounted Axion, you've got to wait another hour now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty cool. Obvio says we need warp tokens, not just ships. Yeah, this is the warp token is the token of the ecosystem. So if you want to buy bonds, if you want to stake warp, all of that stuff, you need to obviously be buying bonds or buying warp off of SushiSwap. But if you buy a ship and you do nothing in the ecosystem with it because you just think the ships are cool, you could totally do that. I don't know why you would, but you totally could. I mean, my ships are pretty awesome, but it's totally up to you if you want to buy one or not. So, anyways, thanks, guys.
When DeLorean ship? Is it going to be a special DeLorean NFT?
Listen, I want to do copyrighted ships, so I want to do an Enterprise. I want to do X-Wings. I want to do DeLoreans, but you listen, guys, we don't want to get Paramount or Fox after us. So
I'm sure you could just rename it the Joel-Lorian.
Yeah, the Joel-Lorian. Yeah, the Joel-Lorian. Listen, I'm going to make myself my... Deli, can I do that? Can I make myself my own ship?
No privileges, except...
No.
I mean, I don't recognise the space shuttle there at all. That's definitely not copyrighted, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, hey, it's a government-owned vehicle. It's fine.
Joe, a little bird is saying that there's something special for the gorillas.
Oh, yeah, there is something special for the gorillas. Should I show that?
Yeah.
Are you wanting me to show it? All right, is this a recruiting tool for Galactic Gorillas, Dead Poet?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah.
I'll just pull this video into my web browser because that's the only way to show it, a live stream. Oh, just kidding. I have to copy and paste it in the actual tab that's streaming. Here you go. So you can see here the Galactic Gorillas.
Oh yeah, that's working better.
I don't think if I full screen it, I think it'll take over the whole screen. But
no, it's going quite laggy. You might be better uploading it because it's just going.
Oh, hey, you're totally right. I forgot I can do that.
You're laggy.
Let's see, share. Whoa! Shoot.
Oh, Pirate Deli.
Pirate Deli. There we go. Let's see if this works better. Yep, there it is. So yeah, this basically is a exclusive ship that's going to be available to the Galactic Gorillas, people who are working to promote Warp on social medias and in other communities. And so if you're interested in joining the Galactic Gorillas, then reach out to Fix or Shimmer or Dead Poet, and you guys can get your own custom ship. Pretty cool. Pretty awesome. There you go. That's exactly right, CJ. That's exactly right. I saw one other question. I don't think I answered it. Oh yeah, will new seasons provide discounts always for Axion stakers or just during the launch? I haven't really thought about it, honestly. Probably just during the launch, because at that point, the Warp community may be relatively large, and so this will be an opportunity for you guys to get in on it before it potentially goes very big. Ohm Forks guys just tend to do really well in general. They tend to be popular projects, and so as a result, it is a there's a unique opportunity for you guys to be a part of something because this is a take on Ohm that hasn't been done yet. So pretty exciting. Cool. Can you please create 3D models of the ships we can view in virtual reality? Yeah, that could definitely be something we could do. I have been building these starships in very high poly, and I've been lighting them using ray tracing. So I would need to decimate these starships. And in fact, here, you guys want to, you could just do. And let me open up.
Show us your Blender.
Yeah, buddy.
How many years have you been working in Blender now?
20 years.
20
years.
And
So
mostly
let me
for
share.
mostly for film
Mostly
stuff,
for
movies.
film and movies, exactly.
Awesome.
Here you go, you guys. So you can see here's one of the Axion starships. It's very cool. I'm really proud of it. You'll see how I have been cheating the backgrounds over there, but you know it's fine. You guys see behind the scenes. But you can see, you know, this is a custom ship that was designed specifically.
I also want to
Axion.
put this out there. So one of the parts of this project, so I'm speaking directly to numbers comment right now, is we're actually bringing this into the metaverse. So metaverse is still, you know, a lot out. You know, we're still not there in terms of the metaverse, but we technically, for every single ship, we have the exact data that was created, or that the ship was created with. So in the future, we want to plan to put this into the metaverse, and you should be able to use your ships in the metaverse, as well as obviously in our staking ecosystem. So yes, this is a metaverse you know, fork, and we are so freaking excited, and you know, I hope you guys are excited as we are.
Yeah, this is a really cool project, you guys. We're really excited of it. We want you to be a part of it if you decide. Here it is. There's my saturation value. Yeah, let's check it. I can change the color of my engines here. Let's see. I'll do like purple. There we go. Purple. Purple's cool. So yeah, I mean the possibilities of this is really kind of endless, you know, and guys, just I know there's 62 people here left on board, you know. When Axion was launched, right, way back in the beginning, it was it was designed as you know, by a third-party company. Obviously, there was the exploit, all that sort of stuff, and then the community rallied around it. And we as a team have been supporting Axion and doing some really, really incredible stuff for Axion as a part of our, you know, desire to make it the world's best staking ecosystem. And really, what's happening now is we have an opportunity to start a project that we're not inheriting, but rather that we are building from the ground up. And we want you guys to be a part of it. It doesn't mean that we don't like Axion anymore, or that we hate it, you know, or that we were trying to leave or anything, because Axion is, again, still our home. But this is something that we're really proud of. We're really excited about it. We hope you guys get excited about it too, and know that, you know, whatever we do on Warp is stuff that can and will feed back to the Axion community, and we're, you know, we're proud of it. And hope you guys join us, but you don't have to. You know that we're not forcing anybody to do this. This is just totally option. Thanks everybody. Yeah, I'm very proud of these ships. I've built so many. You can see here, you know, I have all the basically all the different components here. So as I switch on different components, you can see all the different engine types and things that I've built for this project, including different, you know, decorations, different pieces. Where's actually one of the big ones? Nope. One of these here has like a ridiculous amount of engines. Don't you guys like? I should just live stream me working on Blender. Does anybody want that?
Yeah, I remember when I used to live stream me coding.
Yeah. Like 10.
Well, I no longer do that, and now we have Joel live stream designing.
Where's all my big engines one? I want it. It's so cool. Geez, I made. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, so this would be like a design with gray. So then what I can do is I can go in here to the engine.
So hold on, I want to pull up Faj's question real quick. At 12:27, can you pull this up? Axion officials start using funding to buy virtual real estate. If we can pull that up real quick. Okay,
thank you.
Cool. So as I stated earlier, you guys know I'm a part of a bunch of projects. You know what I mean? And like I said, like, do you know what the projects that I've been a part of don't take away from launching V3 or giving you guys galaxy stakes or this or that. But I do want to put this out there. I've actually been working really closely with an actual AR company. They're called ERG. And so they are actually trying to expand into the metaverse because they right now do virtual demos and stuff for like different shops and whatnot. So they're actually been I've been in talks with them about building their stuff into, you know, the metaverse, kind of like NFT worlds and stuff. And it's really interesting because, you know, some of these I've looked at a lot of code, obviously, since I've been, designing and working in Solidity. And one of the things that I keep noticing is like a lot of these metaverse or NFT projects are so limited because when you go look at their contract, first of all, they're not upgradable, which makes sense because their team isn't doxed, right? But also, there's only so many things that these worlds can have, right? So one of the cool things is that I'm hoping that we can get to that point with ERG, because like I said, I've just begun talking and working with them. Well, I don't know if we're going to get there yet, but it would be dope if we could create like a world, like some sort of metaverse world with ERG, and kind of already expand into that metaverse using our own 3D, or not 3D, sorry, using our own contracts and stuff like that aren't limited like some of these other NFT world projects.
Exactly. I made those orange. You need to make these orange too. Yeah, I've put way too much time into these starships, you guys. I've been working till like 3 in the morning on them. They're pretty cool though. Let me make this full screen. Yeah. I actually have Intel NVIDIA, so I have a 10. Oh geez, what is it? 10 a Core i9 and a 3080 Ti because I don't have the money for a 3090. Sorry, everybody. But this is all being ray traced, which is cool. So as you see, we regenerate realistic light and shadows. If I was to go here to my sunlight, I can actually change the way that the highlights and shadows are being generated on the ship itself. So there we go. Oh, that's why it's being moved around. There we go. Wondering why that looked weird. Yeah, so you can see all of it is being generated in real time with ray tracing, which is pretty cool. That's why I love Blender. So unique Axion Starship, you guys. Who wants? What'd you say, Deli? You want more engines? You got it, Deli. I'll give you as many engines as you want.
Less shuttles, more engines.
Deli, I'm gonna make you an engine freaking pancake. Listen, Deli.
Oh my god.
I know you want it.
Jeez.
I know you want it, Deli. Hold on.
All right. Well, I think we're starting to drift off here.
Has this become a work session with?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So maybe we should end this AMA here. Is there anybody else who has any more questions, guys? We're looking for some any more questions you guys have. Let us know. We can answer them as we watch Joel just stack. Like this looks like a stack of pancakes now.
Listen, this is how many engines Axion really has, because Axion's a community project and we're all helping to make this project work.
Some are saying if we can have guns and a cannon.
Hey, season 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna be making more starships until somebody asks a great question. I mean, more engines.
Well, at that point, maybe we should just
end our stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Irma, guys, Irma can see the ship there because there's not enough engines yet. We can fix that, Irma. Here we go.
See, Joel, I didn't know you were cheating for Earth in the background. I thought you had it there and like actually rendering it.
I actually do, just not for this particular render.
Okay.
I exported them as stills because it was.
Yeah, makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Axion Starship. It's
unrecognizable.
It's truly one of a kind. It looks like shipping crates. Oh, guys. Thank you, VJ. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you guys. All right. Well, we'll get this. Unless I keep working on more duplicating engines, I think we'll be getting.
Let's wrap up for today. I think.
Getting the website out, getting you guys information. Again, I will mention. We have the Axion launch here, so if you want to share it with people and get the hype up. But again, love you guys. Love Axion. Yeah. To the future. Anything else you guys want to say before we jump off? No? Sweet.
No, I don't think so. Have we got an outro to play, Joel?
We've got an outro to play. The best freaking outro ever made. All right. Talk to you guys soon. You guys are awesome. Bye.
See ya.